hometown. And I've remembered things about Mamaw that maybe, after 20 years you forget. But one of my favorite Mamaw stories is when I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. She was very proud of me. Remember, this is 2003, a time of war, and she was a little scared for me. And so she was pissed off at the Marine Corps recruiter. And I'll never forget when he came over to talk to her about what boot camp would mean for the family, she stood on the porch, and he started to walk up, and she said, if you put one foot on my porch, I'm going to blow it off. And that was the woman who gave me all the opportunities that I've had. And I'm so grateful for all the strong women out there, especially the strong grandmas and the strong moms. So I've lived the American dream. In fact, I'm living it right now with you all. Getting to spend great time and having a lot of fun here in the great state of Nevada. But friends, the dreams that we have for our country and our families, you better believe it, they are on the ballot in November. And the way to preserve that American dream, the way to fight for that American dream, the way to build upon that American dream is to elect Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States. Now, let's talk about the contrast between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Kamala Harris's vision is for open borders and closed factories. Kamala Harris wants a government that tells you how to live your life, and she wants smaller family bank accounts. Kamala Harris is promising widespread war while American citizens pray for peace. And remember, Trump delivered peace. Wasn't it amazing? Kamala Harris pledged to ban fracking, which would destroy the energy economy in this country. She vowed to end offshore drilling. She co-sponsored the Green New Scam. And when you fill up your car at the gas pump, maybe we should all just send Kamala Harris the bill. Is that? I don't think she'd pay it, but we gotta try. That's right. Make no mistake. The terrible affordability crisis, higher groceries, higher energy prices, higher housing prices, it is destroying the American dream, and it is Kamala Harris's fault. Now, President Trump, of course, built the strongest economy in the history of our country. I'm 40 years old, almost. I'm sad about that, by the way. I turned 40, I think, on Friday. Beautiful singing voices, great energy. You've got everything here in Las Vegas. But remember, for 40 years, we had declining wages for workers. During the Trump administration, we had rising wages for workers. And it's common sense. How did he do it? He delivered a giant tax cut for hardworking families. He rewarded companies that built jobs and factories in the United States of America and penalized the guys who were shipping jobs overseas. He unleashed the entrepreneurial spirit that drives American innovation. He inspired us all to believe once again in the promise of America, that if you work hard and play by the rules, no height is behind your reach. And Kamala Harris has broken, I think, that foundational promise that if you work hard and play by the rules, you ought to be able to live a good life in this country. And that's why so many Americans no longer believe that their children will be better off than they are. And I hate to say it, if we elect Kamala Harris, they're going to be right. So if you're out there and just trying to make ends meet, if you're scraping by instead of thriving, if your hope is dwindling just as fast as your bank account, help is on the way, and its name is Donald J. Trump. this country wealthy again. We need a president who's going to make life affordable again. We need a president who's going to tell our great American energy workers, drill, baby, drill. We do not need a president who's fantasized about closing immigration and customs enforcement, would make the border crisis even worse. We do not need a president who wants to turn our cities into sanctuaries for criminal aliens and then defund the police so there's no one at home to stop them. But the clock is ticking on Kamala Harris. 6 months from now, President Trump will launch the largest deportation program in American history. We're going to end catch and release. We're going to ban sanctuary cities, and then we're going to finish building that beautiful Trump border wall. Ain't that right? Now, when rioters and looters, remember that in the summer of 2020, burned American cities to the ground, Kamala Harris was trying to bail all of them out of jail. The criminals she helped free included an alleged knife murderer, a convicted rapist, a domestic abuser who later shot and killed a man. Isn't that crazy? Now she wants to end cash bail so that if you assault a police officer, you can be out the next day. She also wants to confiscate firearms from law-abiding American citizens. In other words, she wants to abolish your Second Amendment rights even as she lets more and more dangerous criminals on the street. And we're not going to let her, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to boot her out of office. I guarantee you, if Kamala Harris is president, law-abiding citizens are going to struggle. They're going to be sitting ducks. But we're not going to let it happen. Every man's home is his castle, and he should be able to defend it against anyone who threatens his family. It's a simple American principle, and we're going to fight for it. And if we know the truth, by the way, that our police are heroes, and we're always going to have their back. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to back the blue, and the communities to depend on their safety. Two of this community's finest. Nicholas Pappas, where's Nicholas? Stand up, sir. And Michael Goodwin of the Police Officers Association. Let's give them a round of applause for everything they do and all those who help us. Now, together, we're going to save this country for every American of every race, color, and creed. And it all starts with strength. Strong borders, strong families, a strong economy, and a strong president. And of all Kamala Harris's faults, the worst of all is that she has left this country weak and vulnerable. The entire world now knows that she helped cover up Joe Biden's declining mental capacity for years. And now our country is saddled with a president who can't do the job. And if you think it's bad, my friends, we've seen only what's happening when the cameras are on. What do you think Joe Biden's like when he's sitting in a room with world leaders? Our adversaries are licking their chops, and the world is in disarray because of weak American leadership. Now, anyone who is too blind to see Biden's incompetence, or more likely too dishonest to admit it, is not fit to serve as commander-in-chief of this country. And the Democratic bosses, without Democratic voters casting a single vote, have installed Kamala as their new nominee, or at least they're trying to. We'll see if they maybe give her the move in a few weeks too. The media, which for years has said that Republicans are a threat to democracy, they're calling it a coronation. I've got a different word for it. I call it a coup. In America, my friends, we do not crown our leaders, we vote for them. Remember, in the 2020 Democrat primary, Harris dropped out a month before the first vote was even cast. She was so unpopular, she polled in the single digits even among Democrats her entire campaign. She wasn't in the top 3 in her home state of California. We've got to give credit where it's due. Maybe we aren't Democrats, but the Democrats were right in 2020. We don't want a wacky San Francisco liberal serving as commander-in-chief. We don't want Kamala Harris. Her record of disaster is clear. 500,000 kids have been trafficked by the cartels thanks to her policies. Hundreds of thousands of our citizens are dead from fentanyl thanks to her policies. Hard-working Americans cannot afford groceries or rent because of her policies. And my question to the American people is, do you want a president who is disloyal to this country, or do you want one who is willing to take a bullet for it? I think I know